Hi, thanks for tuning in to Atomic Moto's review of the Alpinestars SMX Air Carbon Glove. As usual, we'll talk a bit about the construction and features and design of the product, and then we'll give you some ideas on how it'll perform out in the field on the bike. We're going to bring the camera in close for a better shot. Okay, so the Alpinestars SMX Air Carbon is a glove that we consider a hybrid model. It is a combination of leather used on the palm, synthetic leather here, of course some padding and textile material throughout the glove, along with hard knuckle protection. And this combination of materials, the combination of leather, which does not stretch, and textile, which does, yields a really good final product. They typically make a glove that doesn't sacrifice much for protection but has a lot of flex in it. So drilling down into this, the base of the Alpinestars SMX 2 Air Carbon Glove is a leather palm. The upper part of the leather palm is a synthetic leather. This is a Japanese material called Clarino. It's actually a paper product, and it is nice and pliable and comfortable. It's great for absorbing sweat. It's really tacky, and yet it feels really good on the hands. There's also a Clarino reinforcement here on the lower area of the palm. This part of the palm is really important and often overlooked. This is important for people that do more road or more high-speed stuff, because in the event that you come off the motorcycle in those situations, one of the most common instinctive things that you do is to put your hand out. And it's really important that you have nice protection and padding in that heel strike area. And so this is something that we look for when we say that a glove is for adventure touring or dual sport. It's a differentiation point between most off-road gloves. We feel that you need good padding, good reinforcement here. And this Alpinestars glove does have an extra layer of Clarino here. Now, frankly, it is not as robust as we would like. We wish that it was a more substantial leather reinforcement like Alpinestars uses on some of their other gloves, but it's still pretty darn good. It still has some extra protection, and of course the side benefit, you know, every strength is a weakness, and so on. The side benefit of it is that it is quite flexible. Alpinestars does a really good job of shaping the palm, and you can see there's a decent amount of curvature in the fingers. You know, not a ton, but a decent amount of curvature in the fingers. That's accomplished through the fourchette, which is this inner panel. And in this case, the SMX2 Air Carbon uses a Lycra in the mid part of the fourchette, which gives it the ability to expand when you bend your fingers. The upper part of the fingers, the fingertips here, are capped with Clarino. It uses a vented stretch mesh here on the back of the hand that flows a good amount of air and is nice and comfortable. The pinky is all leather, and this is a clever factor, a clever design, and this is something that Alpinestars carries over from some of their road racing gloves. One of the other common scenarios where you require protection in a glove is to lose the front end and low side and fall down with your hand on the bar and to strike your pinky. And in that case, it's really nice that they have this leather because it's a little bit better for abrasion protection. This is Alpinestars carbon fiber knuckle protection. They have a couple of different types of hard knuckle protection. An injection molded plastic one, which I actually was involved in the development of many years ago, and they have this carbon fiber one, and an open backed design here, which allows the glove to bend and flex, allows the glove to stretch longitudinally along the length of the construction, the length of the hand, without binding. So that's a nice feature. It's got a big, typically bombastic looking wrist closure, but it does work really well. Closes up nicely. It's kind of stiff, but it actually works pretty well when you have it on your hands. It's got a good amount of EVA foam padding here in the palm, right under the grip part of your hand. Here on the outer area, a couple of little pads on the thumb. And the overall feel of the glove is quite good. Oh, one thing I missed, neoprene cuff design. There's a lot going on in most modern glove design, and this is no exception. You know, it's got lots and lots of different materials and construction and shapes and accents and things like that. That's very typical of where the motorcycle industry is at for glove design. But they're also, gloves are really driven by one factor, and that is how well they feel on the hand. And so if the glove fails that test, if a person is in a showroom, they put it on and it doesn't feel really good, they just move on to the next model. And so brands, especially Alpinestars, do a really good job of paying attention to how it feels. speaking to that, the first Alpinestars SMX carbon glove is something that we carried a couple years ago. It didn't go really well for us. We really didn't like it. It actually had more leather than this. It was more substantial and a little bit more stiff feeling, and wasn't really popular. Didn't do really well for us. The people, the bombers that were using it didn't really like it much. This one is quite a bit lighter, and as a result has much better feel. So now that we've covered the construction, let's jump into how the glove actually feels and works on the hand. Okay, as to how this glove works and performs in the field. The first thing is I want to talk a little bit about why we think this is good for dual sport and for light adventure touring. That's a really important thing, how we feel that the design of the glove fits into different positions in the market. We like gloves that have a leather palm and have this reinforcement area if you're going to do more road or fire road or gravel road because of obvious reasons, the protection. We like the leather palm that has a little bit more longevity and of course a little bit more safety, and it's nice if that leather is a nice high quality material and not really stiff, because obviously if you're riding more aggressively and your heart rate goes up, you sweat. We also like a nice hard knuckle protection and some protection along the fourth finger. That's really key. And these are all points of differentiation between straight off-road or motocross style gloves. A good hybrid glove, a good dual sport or light adventure touring glove has these extra features, these extra protective features, but does not sacrifice the flex and the feel. And this is something that Alpinestars has nailed on this glove. The previous version of the SMX carbon glove, they didn't. On this one, they've nailed it. You put this on and it feels really cushy and really flexible, yet it also feels very robust. That's a common exercise that people do when they try on gloves with hard knuckle protection. It makes them feel a little bit more aggressive or perhaps a little bit more protected, and they knock them on the table or onto the nearest hard surface. But this one does have a feeling of substantiality, of protection. It does have lots of panels that are designed to function really well on the bike, but yet it also is plenty flexible. No arm pump. I can't see that this would be stiff and hard to operate if you're riding in whoops a really rugged terrain, and that's a good thing. Showing you the wrist closure again, I want to show you this is a pretty big piece of rubber. It's probably overkill design-wise. Let me fix the cuff here. It's probably overkill design-wise. The cuff is quite long, but you can see it's actually quite easy to operate on. And even though the glove extends down, there's bend lines molded into the neoprene. It feels nice and cushy and comfortable. I mean, I can't emphasize that too much. This glove just feels really good, despite the fact that it has a fairly robust design. Are there any things that we don't like about it? Well, a couple of them, and they're fairly minor. I really wish that it had a little bit more protection in this area, but by the same token, that might sacrifice the thing that we like so much about it, how flexible it is. The other thing is consistent with many Alpinestars products. It's probably a little bit overpriced. It is $69.95. I know their pricing structure probably doesn't require it to be quite so high. They have a lot of marketing and endorsements and things like that in their budget, and so that's perhaps the reason why it's a little bit more expensive. But I can forgive products that are overpriced if they do a really good job, and this does. I've ridden in this about 2 times, not this pair, but I have another pair. I've ridden in them 2 times, actually on my small off-road motorcycle, an XR 280, and I'm riding a single track in rough terrain, and that's the kind of situation where you really figure out something that causes arm pump or is too stiff very rapidly, and this glove didn't do that at all. It feels similar to an MX glove, but it's just got a lot more protection. And so that's a really good thing. They did a fantastic job of striking a balance between the protection and flexibility of the glove. So, who is this for? Well, it is great for off-road guys that want a little bit more protection, dual sport guys, people that like gloves with hard knuckles but don't want quite so much stiffness. You know, it fits a pretty broad range. I'll let you be the judge of that. It strikes a great balance between flexibility and protection. I know I've said that many times, but that's really kind of the central theme of it. And it fits quite well. It's available in sizes small through 3XL. Runs pretty big. This one is an XL. It fits true to size. Order your normal size on this. Don't upsize or downsize. But it goes in sizes small through 3XL, a bunch of colors. We're just doing black for the moment. We're probably going to add more as time goes on. But we really like it. So that's our review of the Alpinestars SMX Air Carbon 2 glove. Thanks for tuning in. We are Atomic Moto, www.atomic-moto.com, home of the Bombers. We are mission focused on being product experts. We make it our mission, our goal, to know as much about the stuff that we sell, how it's constructed, where it's made, the factories it's made, the design philosophies of the brands behind it, as much as possible about everything we sell, so that we can pass that information over to you via our website, our videos like this, and by telephone and email if necessary. We back that up with the best customer service possible, fast, free shipping, people that answer the telephone, and easy return policies. We always have good info, good recommendations for you, so feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. Thanks again for tuning in.